Ooh. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Hey. When the road gets rough, I keep my stride. Ooh. Shadows fall, but I won't hide. Every step I take says I'm alive. I've been knocked down, but I. Welcome, beautiful souls, to Elevate Your Perspective podcast. I am your host, Shar Davis, and I want to thank you for tuning in today. Listen, on this podcast, we're going to get healthy, healed, and whole. So I need you to go grab your tea, your coffee, and go grab a notebook and a pen because we got work to do. This is not going to be your typical podcast. This is a podcast to help people get healthy, to help them get healed, to help them get whole, so that we can flow in the thing that you see in your mind that you want. But in order for you to seize that very thing that you see, you have to first be able to achieve it. And in order to be able to achieve it and receive it, you got to do the work. Ooh, yeah, that was a mouthful. So, listen. A lot of people want to be in relationships. A lot of people want connections. A lot of people want to be deeply loved. They want to be held. They want to be covered. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things. But the issue is, we have to be willing to do the inner work. That's the part a lot of people want to skip because people want the glory, but they don't want the story, which means that's the process that you have to go through in order to get it. And what happens is that people have pain from their childhood that they bring into their adulthood relationships. But what we have to understand is this. By the time we get in adulthood, and I know there is no magic number, but there should have been somewhere along the line in our lives where we said, wait, I got to pause. There's some work I got to do. But because we are in an age where a lot of people want to hide those things. And I can't say just now because back in the day they were doing the same thing too. They didn't want to deal. And what happened is it created generational habits that just kept going on and on because nobody wanted to stop and do the actual work that was needed to break those habits, to break those curses, to break those mindsets, to break them. And so what happens is if nobody chooses to do the work to address it, it continues to keep going on and on and on. You see it, but the whole thing that people love to say is they need to do something about that. They need to fix it. They are you. Joyce Meyer said it perfect. We got to step up because it's all of us. We all have something that we have to work on. To sit up here and point the finger and act like it's everybody else and it's not you, that's not truth. Not truth at all. So before you're trying to connect with somebody else, before you're trying to get in this relationship, before you're trying to pray for a divine mate, before you're trying to flow in so many different things in that aspect, first stop and ask God to work in you. Because there are some things that's sitting in you. There are some slick mouths. There are some habits of, I don't want to submit. There are some controlling pieces. There may be, and again, I'm not putting this on people. I'm naming off different things that people go through. People got attitudes because they still mad about something that happened from childhood. People got victim mentalities because they've been taught how to be the victim and allow excuses to run them. People have different ways. People have grown up having to compete. People have grown up having been overlooked, having been mistreated, have been had to be strong at a young age. People have so many different childhood adversities that they went through, and those things have followed them into adulthood. And now they want to connect to somebody else, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in order to handle healthy love and healthy relationships, you first have to be willing to become that. That goes back to the list. People have lists of what they want in a mate. Nothing wrong with that. But my question is this: as you have that list for the mate, what's the list of what you want to be for that mate? Create that. The list that you have of all the different things, this height, this amount of money, this type of stature, this type of demeanor, this, that, and the other. I need you to create a list. What you gonna be for that mate? Create that list and then start working on yourself. Because wholeness is not perfection. It is honesty, it's accountability, it's discipline, it is self-awareness. And a lot of people want to walk around, but they don't want to be self-aware. It's always everybody else, it's never them. But when you can look at yourself and say, yeah, I messed up. Yeah, there's some things I got to work on. And it's not to walk around downing yourself totally. It's just being real. But thanking God that, you know what, in your imperfections, He perfects those things. I am so grateful that if I'm obedient and I step into whatever it is that God has told me to step into, it's not saying just do stuff any type of way, but I'm saying obedience plus. You may be afraid. You may do the best you can. And God looks at our heart. So if He sees that willing spirit, if He sees that you are going after the very things that He has aligned for you, you don't even know the blessing. And God wants us to have healthy, beautiful relationships. He does. But He wants us to be free. Free of those things that have had us stagnated. Think free of those things that have held us hostage. Free of that pain. Free of the injury that you went through at a young age that you're allowing to become your identity. And I'm not talking about injury like injury because of somebody on the job and something happened. I am talking about the injury of hurt, of pain, of guilt, of shame. And those are symptoms. Those aren't the roots, but those type of injury. Competing as a child for love, not being good enough, and so many other different things that children have went through. We need to understand that, number one, we need to forgive and let go of it. Actually, before that, you need to acknowledge it, because that's where the first healing comes in. You acknowledge, yeah, because nothing that's hidden can be healed. And all you do is spill it on to somebody new. And that's not fair to them because they wasn't a part of what was done to you. Now, does that mean that when you get in a relationship, there's not going to be any issues? Well, I used to think that was the case. I'm going to be honest. I thought that after I did my healing, that was it and I was done. Oh boy, was I in for a rude awakening. Healing is a continual process. And it don't even have to be that same thing. It's just as we evolve, as we grow, it's other things that we learn, it's other things that we adapt, it's the other things that we be like, ooh, other things start to emerge that we need to work out of us. It's that stripping, it's that pruning, it's that purging, it's that shaping and molding. You can't have that slick mouth trying to be married to a man. You shouldn't even do it, period. I ain't even about to say what level of man, period. You just shouldn't. And for a man, you can't be that dominating, controlling man. You want, and what you should have, a submissive wife. So you're dominating and trying to control her, and she's being submissive, but you're not even being submissive to her because you're looking at it from a different perspective, not the right one, which is why we're here on Elevate Your Perspective, because we all need to elevate our perspectives. But in the same token, a woman that acts like she can't serve her husband because being submissive to him means that he's dominating her or controlling her, because that's the type of thought process, that's something that she went through as a young child. No. And so we have to learn how to change our perspectives, because sometimes we're looking at things through rose colored glasses. But when we choose to do our work, when we choose to heal, when we choose to forgive, now we can look at things with a clear vision. It's not rose colored, it's not shaded and jaded anymore. It's clear. So many times we say, oh, I don't need therapy. I don't need to read the word. I don't need this. I don't need that. And so we try to wing it on our own. We try to wing it. We try to act like it's not there. Or we try to convince, oh, I'm over that. Oh, I'm, that was the past. I'm good. But you're still walking around with actions, thought processes, behaviors, which I just said with actions. You're still walking around with coping and reacting mechanisms from that. But you're trying to convince yourself, even though you're telling somebody else, but you're trying to convince yourself that you're over it, but you're really not. Anytime you hear that person's name, it does something to you. You're really not. So we have to make sure that we're doing the work of becoming whole. And again, wholeness is not perfection. It is a person that is healing in progress. It is a person that's being honest with themselves. It is a person that is accountable. It is a person that is saying, in my imperfection, that God will still bless me because I'm self aware. I'm being real. I'm not walking around trying to hide something. I'm saying, here it is. Take this pain away. Heal me of all these things that I've been carrying, that I've been allowing to weigh me down so I can't be productive as I should be. Or I'm in a marriage and I can't be the spouse that I need to be because I want to say it's them, but real talk, I know it's really me. It might be pride, it may be ego, it may be blame shifting, it may be all these different things. Defensiveness. And it's because of things that we have not done the work on, things that we have not looked at ourselves. You may say, well, I was in a relationship or a marriage and they cheated. Okay? Not a good feeling. But are you going to walk around and still carry that? So then the next relationship you get into, you're looking at that person through rose colored glasses, jaded glasses because of the hurt that happened in the past. Or are you going to choose to work on you? Here's the other thing that I see people do. People will require of somebody else where they don't even have the strength to do themselves. Person may want you to have boundaries with an ex. We're older now. People are older. People have been in relationships. People have been married. People may have had children. They may not be together. There's a different scenario. Remember, whole before you're healed. So you want the person that you're with that know how to engage in healthy boundaries. When they walk out, they need to represent you well. Sounds good as I'm saying it, right? But there are a lot of people, some people, that require something of their mate, of their spouse, that they are not even walking in consistently, but they want it from you. Get offended if you don't do it. But if somebody gives them a little bit of attention, feeding that ego, because their self validation, here we go, talking about wholeness, is not in God, it's in people. So now I need likes, I need this, I need that. But where are these things stemming from? Childhood. What people sometimes didn't get from a child as a child, they weren't loved enough, they weren't given attention enough. Then they get into relationships and now they want a person to fill this void that only God can heal. Only God can feel. So they want a person to heal them. They want this person to carry this. So what you find out is you have people with different attachment styles. I need to be close. I got to be clingy. Or you got some that don't want you up underneath them all the time. Or you have those that we always got to be doing this, doing that, doing that, doing that. Again, they're trying to fill voids with people and things. But if you pause, stop, take a moment, do the work. What is it that I learned as a child growing up? When I sit still for 10 minutes, what is it that happens? Am I able to be by myself? Am I able to be good to be in my space? Or am I antsy? Am I anxious? Is it that I don't want to sit with the things that are going on inside of me that need to come out, that need to be healed? Is it that I got to stay busy? So even if I'm alone, as long as I'm doing something, I don't feel lonely. And those are two different things. Right now, I'm alone, temporary. But loneliness is a feeling. It's a signal of that pain, of the wound talking to you, letting you know when you can't sit by yourself and just be peaceful, something's going on, there's something signaling. There's some work that got to be done. So people will fill those things with, or or the tube, watching TV, or hey, I need to go somewhere. I'm over here. I got to do this. I'm over there, I got to do that. All these other different things. And I say these things to say, if we don't recognize the very things that we keep choosing to avoid, we're going to keep repeating cycles over and over again. Remember, I just talked about generational habits, curses, because people don't want to do the work that is needed. People don't want to be honest with themselves about those things either. And trust me, it ain't always easy to sit up there and look at some stuff for what it really is. Because it's so much easier to just act like it's not there and pretend. But how long are you going to walk around in your life pretending? And God is offering you the real. The only holdup it is who? He like, look, I want you to be healthy, healed, and whole. I want you to be free of all this stuff. I don't want that holding you back. I want you to live a life that I created you to live. He wants you to walk in your purpose in the calling when he shaped and formed us and placed us in our mother's womb, and he allowed us to be, and he breathed the breath of life in us. He gave us the opportunity to do the very things that he called us to do. And at every different season or stage, I want to say, in our lives, what he's placed inside of you will begin to emerge. Because now it's time for you to step into a new level of what he's called you to. But guess what? As he is calling us to step into new levels, that means we need to do the work. Because if we don't, what he's calling you to, you don't want to squander it. You don't want to mess it up. You don't want to be blessed with it and then have vices or proclivities and different things that you have not dealt with pop out because you don't want to have discipline, because you don't want to mature, because you don't want to face the things that need to be faced or dealt with. You want to just sweep them underneath the rug because you don't want to develop, because you want to fight everything that requires you to elevate and to grow and to come out of the old and step into the new. So I'm going to ask you this. How is it that you want to be whole and held if you keep refusing, keep hiding, keep running from, keep avoiding, keep manipulating, making excuses for the very things that are keeping you from everything that he has called you? Let me say this too. We're going to go deeper into these things. Whole before you're healed is going to be a mini series, and we're going to break it down. So that's why I want you to get notebooks. I want you to get your pen, your tea, your coffee, call your friends and tell them to hop on because we got some work to do. We're going to go deeper and we're going to break it down, and we're going to start from the root. We're going to start from the beginning and we're going to walk through the process. And then we're going to have homework and do things that's needed to be done, because if we're serious about whole before healed, God is always preparing us. But in order for you to know what you're being prepared for, you got to learn how to be quiet and sit in His presence. You got to learn how to read His word, but you also got to let that word read you. So grateful for learning that. Allowing that word to read you helps you have that check and balance. That I still got some stuff. We all do. Ain't not one person perfect. So I say this to say, make sure you subscribe because we have work to do on every Inspirational Tuesday at 3 p.m. I want you to meet me. I wanted to just have this talk with you, but oh my goodness, I'm ready to go deeper and break it down with you. We're going to start at the root because in order for healing to take place, we got to uproot that thing. Let's stop playing with the symptoms and let's actually uproot it so that we can do the very things that we need to do and not be hindered by it. No longer be triggered by it. It could just be something that happened in our lives that we have a testimony to say, hey, I went through that. Here are the things that I did. I ran from that. I avoided that. And I can tell you for myself, I avoided healing for a long time. And then chose to do the work of healing. And when I did, oh my gosh, I'm like the biggest advocate for it. And it was like I was looking at myself saying, why did you wait so long? You could have been walking around in this different perspective, different mindset a long time ago. But a lot of times we're running because we don't know who we are going to be once we come out of it. And so what we've been used to is what we are comfortable with. So we stay and we cling to it like a crutch. But I'm here to tell you that there is greatness on the other side of it. It's so much more freeness on the other side of it. And again, it's continual work. So as I said, subscribe and connect. And every Tuesday, we're going to get ready to walk this thing out. We're going to start our mini series and we're going to get it going. And I am so excited, beautiful souls, to walk this thing out with you. Again, I'm not perfect. We are going to walk this thing out together. So tell your friends and tell your family to come back and join me. And come ready. Let's get to work. As always, be blessed and keep elevating.